Okay guys, I'm here at the bird gardens and I've got this impressive scene in front of me and I'm going to try and do a 30-minute sketch. There are hundreds of school children here as well, so we'll see how this goes. There's a bird demonstration here at 11, so it's about 9:30 now, 10 o'clock. So, I mean, I'm trying to sketch in half an hour, so hopefully I should be done and out of here before the children arrive en masse. So, yeah, wish me luck. So this is the scene I'm going to be sketching. It's like a amphitheatre thing, and it's in the same kind of faux Italian architecture, like the casino that we sketch at all the time, which is attached to this. This is kind of like the same property. It's really beautiful. And they've got lots of different birds from all over the place. And in this particular area, they do demonstrations, I guess mainly for school children or tourists, and they like educate people about the birds, and they bring out sort of various eagles and owls and that kind of thing. You'll notice the timer hasn't started yet, and that is because, full disclosure, I forgot to put it on. So I'm showing you very honestly where my 30 minutes started. So I do get a couple of minutes head start here. And I'm also, for those of you who are like, this video is not even 30 minutes long though. Yes, it's not 30 minutes long. I decided this time that I would speed up the footage by 2. So my actual sketching time on this video looks like 15 minutes because it has been sketched in 2. So this is where I put my timer on. I did get some pencil lines in on the page. So yeah, a bit of cheating going on there, but it wasn't intentional, I promise you guys. I've decided I want to use this Hahnemühle toned sketchbook. I know in the video footage it probably doesn't look all that toned, but it is a kind of tan colour. And it is an A5 sketchbook, and it's the landscape version. So my strategy, if any of you have watched that first video where I talk about various different strategies on how you can urban sketch in half an hour, one of those strategies is to just draw line work. And then later on, or not, up to you, you can put in colour. So that was my strategy coming into this. I had it sort of clear in my head. That is what I was going to do. So you saw me there sort of putting my pencil marks across the page just to get the rough shapes of things. It's quite a complicated scene, and there's a lot of different perspectives and whatnot going on, a lot of which I have not got correct, but that doesn't really bother me too much, to be honest with you. And so, yeah, I put those big shapes in across the double page. And then now I'm coming in with a 0.2 fine liner just to put in all the details. So I find like a 0.2 is quite a nice size of fine liner just to generally draw with. And then, you know, later on in the sketch, in the sort of finishing touches, sort of as a side of things, you can always come back in and add thicker lines. But I think 0.2 is quite a nice sort of standard line weight for this size of sketchbook anyway. So yeah, this does have some very tricky things going on. It's got some steps downwards and it's got some curved steps coming towards me. So I kind of, you know, without spending too much time on it, which, you know, you have to remember here, I'm trying to do this in 30 minutes. I just sort of go for it with my pen. And to be honest, it doesn't obviously quite work. the perspective and spacing and everything is not quite right, but it's fine. It really, I hope me showing you these kind of sketches shows that actually sometimes it just really doesn't matter whether you've got something drawn perfectly in perspective, then you can actually still make a really nice sketch whether you've got something accurately drawn or not. So you'll notice I've started over on the left-hand side. I just thought I might as well just draw from the left and just carry on drawing over towards the right, and that would be a sensible way to approach this. Also because some of the things that I'm drawing in are going to influence where I put things next to them, if that makes sense. So there I'm just drawing that archway, and I wouldn't really have been comfortable drawing that in without having drawn the elements on the left of it first. just because I'm using things in the scene as visual landmarks, to help me know where to put other items. And this could work out well, or it could sort of go a bit off kilter, because if I draw something a bit wrong and then use that as my guideline to draw the next thing, it could end up looking a bit odd. But again, I'm actually okay with that. I don't mind if my sketch looks a bit odd. I've very much practiced what I started to preach a couple of years ago, which is just let go and sketch. And that's very much the basis of my sketching approach. Just let go, just go for it. Otherwise, you never get anything done if you agonize over it for ages on whether it's going to be perfectly in proportion or in perspective, or whether you can even draw the thing. It's just like, well, just give it a go, If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's really not the end of the world. So that's kind of my whole sketching philosophy. It has taken me a long time to get here. And I do still get grumpy with myself when things don't turn out very nicely at all. But 9 times out of 10, I know that I'm going to be okay with my drawing. So that's good enough for me. So here you can see I'm sort of all over the place with the curvature of these steps. Maybe if I'd spent some time with a pencil, I really could have got that looking a bit nicer. But otherwise, it does the job. It explains where we are. So that's okay. The thing is, the more you draw, the better you're going to get. So if you put yourself off drawing because you don't think you can do it from the start, then you're setting yourself up for failure, really, when actually you should just have a crack and just kind of have some fun doing it. And you're not at liberty to show your sketch to anyone. I know, here we are outside sketching in public, but actually no one came to see. And even when the ladies who did the bird demonstration came round to see if we had any questions, they sort of gave an appreciative nod of what we were doing, but they didn't say, oh, can I look at your sketch or whatever? They were there to do their job. We were here sort of hanging out. And when I say we, I mean me and some of the members of Urban Sketchers Johannesburg. And, that's fine. Sometimes people do want to look over your shoulder and have a look, but I have never had a negative comment in my entire life. Even if my drawing is rubbish and I know it's rubbish and probably they know it's rubbish, everyone's too polite to say anything. So so it's absolutely fine. And I also think these days people just appreciate the fact that you're trying to do something, you're getting out there, you're trying to be creative, you're spending your time in such a nice way, appreciating your surroundings, you're being peaceful and just, soaking in the atmosphere. I mean, what's there not to like about that? It always helps if you are out sketching in a group. I feel my most confident when I am with a group of sketchers because we're all in it together. But because of that, my confidence in sketching by myself has just grown exponentially. And not even sketching by myself because I've been doing that for a long time, but actually getting out the tripod and my camera and actually filming myself sketching in public, which is a whole nother ball game. Just makes me feel very self-conscious, but I am slowly getting over it. So that means I can bring more videos to you guys of me actually sketching on location, which I don't know about you guys, but I think is probably a bit more interesting. Obviously, this channel used to be called Urban Sketching World, and urbansketchingworld.com very much still exists, and I love blogging over there and sharing everything I know about urban sketching. But I wanted to open this channel up and call it Taria's Sketchy Adventures because I didn't want the phrase urban sketching to really muddy the waters, when actually I live in a country now where, I spend most of my time in nature, to be honest with you, rather than in an urban setting. So, I just, sometimes that phrase really trips people up. And so that's why I obviously changed the name. I got a video on that if anyone's interested. It's just explaining why I did change the name almost a year ago now, I think. But I do actually think, regardless of that, I think videos of sketching on location are super interesting to see. So I'd love to know your thoughts on that, whether you like the videos, you like seeing videos of me sketching on location. My God, I can't talk today. I'm sorry. Do let me know if that's more interesting to you, or if it's equally interesting to you, or if actually you're just really not bothered and you're fine with seeing me draw both at a desk and on location. Just like to hear your feedback on that. happy with how this is going so far, but I think I am, obviously the time is not in front of me. It is on my watch and I can't see the time. And I'm sort of the opposite to some of the other 2 episodes of this sketching challenge where, well, at least in the first one, I completely freaked out and I was just like, oh my God, like 30 minutes, that's barely anything. And I just thought I had no time the entire time. In the second one, I feel like I kind of smashed it, but I was pretty loose, to be honest with you, and very rough. And so time was kind of no issue really there. In this one, I was just like, yeah, I've got all the time in the world. I'm just doing lines. It's fine. I don't even have to paint this one. I'm just drawing. I've got loads of time. And I think probably somewhere in the next minute, I do look at the timer on my watch just to check how I'm doing. And I realize I've got 10 minutes left. And now I'm like totally freaking out because I haven't even finished my first page and I've used up 2/3 of my time. Yeah, there we go. So I checked my watch and now I'm like, oh my goodness. Okay, I need to speed up. And then it's at this point, I'm like, hang on a minute. Actually, why don't I just draw on this page? I don't need to draw on the right-hand page. Let's just keep it to one page because there's absolutely no way I'm going to get the whole of that second page drawn. So that's an example of a very quick decision not to carry on the other page. And my strategy of just starting to sketch from the left and staying on this page actually paid off. And, you know, I do have the pencil marks over on that right page, which I can just erase, or I can do something else with them, which you're going to see after this 30 minutes, well, 8 further minutes are over. You'll see what I do next. So yeah, so now I know that I'm just focusing on this page. I can really just try and go to town and put in some more details and textural elements. You might see me gesturing and not drawing right here, and you might be like, get on with it. What are you doing? I think it's because someone was talking to me. So yeah, not only was I trying to do this in 30 minutes, but I was having multiple conversations throughout as well, which probably didn't help, but I just wanted to make use of the time being at the bird gardens, and I thought this would be really fun to try and do a 30-minute sketch within this time. And I think it's actually quite practical for you to see that you might be sitting with people, therefore you are also having conversations whilst trying to draw in 30 minutes before your friends get bored or your family gets bored and they want to leave. So it is kind of possible to do that as well, multitasking. And also with this strategy in mind where I am just doing the line work on location, obviously I do know that then the idea is that I could do the rest later when you're just having recreational time. I'm thinking if you're traveling or something, or, you know, in my case, later at home. So I can fiddle with it a bit more, but at least I've got the essence of the drawing done on location. Some people are diehards, like what happens on location stays on location, and I won't dare touch my sketch afterwards. But I think for a lot of us, having that option to just sort of finish things off at home just takes the pressure off a little bit. So there are no rules with this. You can do whatever you want, and don't let other people make you think there's rules, because other than sketching something on location, that's about it. So I got the black brush pen out there and just put in some areas of black in some of the windows and stuff. I just thought that might help give the sketch a bit more impact. And now I've got this kind of hard tip sort of few-day pen from Zebra, which I love. I've got that out and I'm just sort of adding some thicker lines to areas as well, mainly where they're outside edges of things. And just imagine if you could put your hand through and feel around it, then you could put a thick line there. I also like to put thick lines where there might be shadow areas or where an item like those plant pots meet the ground. I think that's also quite nice. And sometimes I just put thick lines in random areas just to see what it will look like, because I'm always kind of searching for interesting ways of sketching things. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you can see how adding those thick lines really sort of gives some real kind of contrast, or some real, like, more drama to the sketch already, just by adding those. It gives it more visual interest, so that not every single line is the same. And I'm just trying to add in some textural marks into some of the bushes. So here I'm just thickening up random lines of the steps because I just wanted to know what it might look like. So I can't see the time, but I know any minute my watch is going to buzz and tell me I've run out of time. So I'm just trying to do everything as quickly as possible. And actually I realised that I haven't added any detail to this bottom section where the grass is and stuff. So I'm just quickly doing that again, knowing that I'm just about to run out of time. So there's kind of some rocks down here. There's a bit of a rock pool and stuff. And there we go. We are done. We're out of time. I thought that went quite well. I was glad with my decision to not even try to draw on the right-hand page. And I'm really happy with this line drawing on the left. Is it perfect? No. Does it describe where I am? Yes. I think that's a nice little reminder sketch of where I was. So, as promised, I decided, well, I've got a couple more hours in this location and everyone's sitting around drawing, so I'll carry on drawing. And I just didn't really fancy starting a new drawing, so I thought maybe I should just continue this drawing onto the other page, but do it in like a bit of a different style. So inspired by the other week where we were just painting directly in watercolor, I decided to do the right-hand side of the page just directly in watercolor, to start off with at least anyway. And then, so here it is developing. I didn't film it all the way through because I just wanted to relax a bit and enjoy, and, you know, just not worry about the camera and stuff. So I've done some direct watercolor there, and I've just gone over the top in a black pencil to add in some more details. And here it is. I think this is the finished one here. Yeah, I've put the date and the name of the place on. So this is the finished one. So I think that's really interesting how, you know, one side of the page is just in ink lines, and then the other side of the page is in direct watercolor, then with a bit of pencil over the top. So I was really happy with how that turned out and thought it was a fun experiment. And just as I was leaving, I was cornered by a lemur and he was like, nah, I'm just gonna chill here, and I'm just gonna cuddle my tail and just be, you know, in your way, eyeing up your backpack. And I don't know why, I was a little bit nervous. So I was like, I'm just gonna let him do his thing. I'm just gonna let him like chill out. And then, I don't know, no one else was around, but I did actually ask his permission if he minds if I just stepped around him. I'm sure this lemur is very used to humans, but yeah, we just circled each other and then we just went on our various ways. It was quite cute. So I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. I hope it's inspired you for what you can do in regards to urban sketching in 30 minutes. And if you haven't seen the previous two episodes, episode 1 and episode 2, do go check those out. And also the episode before that with my various strategies on how you can speed up and get faster at urban sketching. Otherwise though, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.